Tonight on CTV News at 5, Waterloo Region slammed with another snowstorm. How a local Christmas tree farm is faring in the flurry-filled forecast as residents make the most of a snowy situation. Plus, a cutting-edge crime. A Guelph dollar store picks up the pieces after a saw was used in an early morning break-in. And from southern Ontario to northern Quebec, students from a remote Inuit village pay a visit to a Kitchener Catholic school. CTV News at 5 starts right now. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. First at 5, southern Ontario hit with another major snowfall this season. As a polar plunge settles in, residents in Waterloo Region spent a lot of time today digging out. CTV's Heather Senerin joins us now, braving the wintry weather out in Kitchener right now. And Heather, it isn't just homeowners shoveling their way out of this mess today.
Also business owners, Alexandra. Now, when you think of all of this white stuff, you probably think of the holidays. So we caught up with a Christmas tree farm in Cambridge. Chickadee Christmas trees. Staff there have been busy all day clearing snow off trees and sweeping those trees so that they're ready for sale. After being open for nearly 25 years, the owners say this is the snowiest season they've experienced. And this week is typically one of their busiest as the countdown to Christmas continues. They're only open Thursday to Sunday, but they've been working nonstop to make sure the tree farm is safe for when customers come to pick out a tree.
We have to make sure all our paths are clear. We have to make sure our parking lot is in good shape because we don't want anybody to slip into each other. And we also have to make sure that the trees are uncovered from the snow. We'd like to keep the trees outside. They stay fresher if they're outside. But if it snows, then we have to bump the snow off them so that people can see the tree.
Staff at the tree farm admit that all of this snow does make people feel more in the Christmas spirit. So although it is a lot of work, it can help with that too. Alexandra.
Heather, thank you so much. That's Heather Senerin reporting. Heather, get back inside. Stay warm. Wow, it looks cold out there. Oh, my goodness. The snow, the just grayness. It's definitely looking like a winter.
Yeah, I feel a little bad for Heather braving it, but kudos to you, Heather. I mean, it is really still quite blistery out there. The good news, though, Alex, most of that significant snowfall that we talked about yesterday with Leanne, that has now landed. We are expecting a few more centimeters throughout the night, but overall conditions are improving on that front, which is great news. Let's take a look at our radar right now. You can see there is some lingering stuff hanging around Kitchener-Waterloo. Now that is kind of shifted between flurries and drizzle over the last 12 hours or so. That's because temperatures have sat around the freezing mark today, going up to 1 degree at one point. We're now currently sitting at -1 in Kitchener-Waterloo, and it will continue to drop now. So in those parts where it did get a little warmer and a little melty, you might want to keep an eye out for ice. There is still some snow events in play, but I will talk about that a little later in the show. For now, let's take a look outside, and you can see again that white stuff is still coming down. It is going to continue to do so over the next few hours on and off. Make sure you pack an umbrella, and like I said, I'll have some more on that coming up a little later.
All right, Ashley, thank you so much. Well, the weather outside might look frightful, but a local sculptor is making it delightful for drivers and people passing by his home. Matt Morris is best known for the snowy creations he crafts on his front lawn. Over the years, the retiree has made a variety of sculptures, including landmarks and movie characters, bringing joy to those who pass by. Morris has been taking the craft seriously for the last 14 years, but says he has many childhood memories of playing in the snow.
Snow sculpting is the quintessential Canadian tradition. I started, my mom, when I was 5 years old, said, out you go and get some fresh air, and so out I went, and it's just evolved from then. I'm not an artist by trade or anything. I just explore and make mistakes, and what a wonderful medium to make mistakes on, because everything you see here is free.
Coming up at 6, CTV's Karis Map hears from those in the community who stopped by to take it all in. The first woman to serve as Canada's ambassador to the United States, Kirsten Hillman, is stepping down in the new year. Hillman says it's been, quote, a great privilege to have served and represented Canada. She was formally appointed to the role in 2020, serving as Canada's top diplomat in Washington and later chief Canadian negotiator on U.S. trade. Her resignation comes as trade talks remain stalled and as a review of CUSMA is set to begin in the new year. Sources tell CTV News that Canadian financer Mark Wiseman will likely be named as Hillman's successor in March. The Prime Minister added Wiseman to his Council on Canada-U.S. Relations last spring. And here's what you need to know as we head into our first break. Grab your paintbrush and head to Bobby O'Brien's in Kitchener for a paint night. No experience is required and all the equipment will be provided. It starts at 6:30 tonight. Tickets are $35.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvkitchener.ca, your home for news.
'Tis the season of holiday parties and gatherings with family and friends, and what better way to celebrate the holidays with some treats and eats. So here we have Sanam today with us from Grazing Daisy. Sanam, you are the expert when it comes to charcuterie boards, grazing tables. Walk me through what we're going to be putting together here today.
Yes, I'm so excited. Today we're going to be building a really simple yet beautiful and elevated charcuterie wreath. It's perfect for busy holiday time hosting because you can prep it in advance and then you can put it out 10 minutes before your guests arrive and people are going to love it.
That's awesome. And I know especially during this time of year, that crunch time is so important. So let's get started here. I know we're going to be making a wreath. What are we using to build this wreath today?
Absolutely. So we have some beautiful fresh product here. I shopped at the local farm boy in Cambridge. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building our base with some fresh herbs before we get into the fun part of making the skewers. So we have some fresh rosemary here as well as thyme, and we're just going to take this on a circle platter and we're going to put some kind of bowl or ramekin in the middle because we're going to create kind of that effect with the hollow center. So if you continue just building all around, you can already see that the color is starting to pop.
Definitely, and it smells so good. I wish that you guys could smell this. It's great.
It smells, it really does. So as we're just building that, you can see we'll pop this off and you can kind of see that base that has formed, and then we can keep filling it in as we add our skewers as well.
Perfect. Okay, so moving on to the skewers now, we have a whole array of different bites, some salami, some olives. Is there a technique to this?
Yeah.
Do you need to be an experienced charcuterie maker for this?
Not at all. This is so simple. So really you want to focus on a few different elements. Obviously you have your olives. It's very antipasta. So you have some bocconcini, some tomato, some Irish cheddar in 2 different colors. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take some of our skewers, and I would recommend putting about 4 pieces per skewer on, and you can mix them up. You can whatever you feel like. Really, I would think that if you do them differently, it's going to create that more beautiful effect at the end anyway. So whatever you would like to do, we're just going to pop them on one at a time, and I do think about 4 would be the right amount. Awesome. And you can make each and every one look a little different.
And what do you recommend? What's the best flavor combination, or what's your favorite flavor combination when it comes to all these options?
Oh, I think that is a very interesting question because it would be different for everybody because I certainly do love olives. I love bocconcini. Well, I love everything that's on here. So that's why if we do a couple different ones, then everybody can kind of go for what they're drawn to.
Awesome. Well, it's a good thing that we have options for everyone, what everyone likes, and everyone can mix and match as well. This is great.
And you really don't need too much. 1 jar of each item is going to take you a long way. So you can really kind of bulk up the spread by having a lot of variety as well.
Perfect. And are there any color schemes that you're going for here? I know it's the holidays. I know we often see a lot of red and green and white here, which I am seeing. So.
Yeah. I think definitely making sure that you have some kind of red, some kind of white, and green is going to be, that's why the fresh herbs are so nice for that green pop, because it really adds some brightness, but definitely you want to have those red tomatoes in there, and the white bocconcini is just going to help take it to the next level as well.
That's perfect. It's really coming together now. That looks beautiful, and it's so easy, and I feel like, I mean, at the end of a holiday party, usually you're left with leftovers, so how can people take these home?
Yeah, these are so easy. You could have little to-go containers or little charcuterie cups, and if you have leftovers, people could literally just take a couple and pop them in and have a snack for the ride home.
That's awesome. Okay, so our wreath is coming together here. It's taking shape. What do we do next?
So if you wanted to garnish it, obviously you could fill it up as much as you wanted, but I would recommend garnishing it with some balsamic glaze, some pomegranate seeds. So I'm going to let you go ahead and do that.
Perfect.
Just glaze around. Try to avoid the middle so you can kind of keep that area nice and full looking.
For sure. You know, I love a good balsamic glaze, and these are all the perfect flavors to go along with this.
It looks so pretty.
It looks beautiful. And honestly, this is so easy to make. I mean, you can bring this to a holiday party as like a potluck type of thing. You can have it as the host. It's very versatile and super easy to make, which is great.
It's definitely a crowd pleaser. There's just so much variety in it, and it really kind of helps elevate such a simple little concept and items that you basically can get out of a jar.
That's awesome. And so I know you said that it's pretty easy to prep in advance. In terms of sort of what can people do to prepare in advance? What can I do? What can I cut or pick up?
Yeah, that's a great question. So you can actually prepare all of this one night before or the morning of. You can cut your cheeses, you can fold your meats and build the skewers and just put them in an airtight Tupperware container. And if you are going to layer them, put down some parchment paper and they're going to be fresh and perfect for the next day.
That's awesome. And obviously here we have our finishing product. That was super easy to make,
so
super
easy.
quick. So that was great. Thank you so much, Sanam, for coming in today. Hopefully everyone can take this home, make it themselves, and enjoy the holidays. Happy holidays.
Thank you so much. Happy holidays to you too.
Here's what you need to know as we head into our next break. Take a trip to downtown Kitchener for a night of laughs and chuckles. Rusty Nail Comedy is hosting a professional amateur night in downtown Kitchener. Tickets are only $5 and it all starts tonight at 7:30.
Holiday set decoration provided by Royal City Nursery.
Time to check back in with CTV's Ashley Bacon on our weather. And Ashley, yesterday when I was leaving here, I had to scrape my way into my car. I'm hoping I don't have to do that again tonight, but let me know. What are we looking at here?
Look, I can't guarantee one thing or another, but I will tell you that it's not over yet, and we're certainly feeling more and more like winter as actual winter approaches in just over a week's time. But we will see some, some snowfall with the warmer temperatures this afternoon. That might mean a little bit of freezing over this evening. I don't think it will be as severe as it was around this hour yesterday. However, we aren't out of the clear just yet. Let's take a look outside. You can see there is some light snowfall blustering around, but overall conditions have cleared compared to what they were earlier today. We will continue to see those flurries throughout the evening and into tomorrow morning, but the significant snowfall that we've seen over the last 24 hours or so has essentially slowed down. We were in Kitchener-Waterloo, we were under a snowfall advisory from Environment Canada up until about 5 minutes ago. So that has just been lifted, which is great news for those folks who are maybe traveling home. It's going to be maybe a slightly easier trip home tonight from work or from school compared to yesterday. That being said, conditions, the road crews are still working hard, so make sure you take your time, have those headlights on, and clear off your cars. Looking at this, we're still seeing some snowfall warnings in the yellow here in surrounding regions, but we have just been lifted in the Waterloo region in the last, like I said, 5 minutes or so. Looking at our futurecast, this is the clearing we're seeing overnight. However, that is not going to last all night, unfortunately. This is 2 a.m. tonight, but getting into tomorrow, you'll see another band of precipitation move across the region here. That's going to bring around 2 to 4 centimeters of snow over the next 12 hours. Again, not significant amount, but enough that you're going to have to get out and maybe clear your walkway. -2 right now in Kitchener-Waterloo, so still sitting relatively warm considering we were feeling in the -20s earlier in the week and last week. So definitely feeling a little bit more like the seasonal temperatures experiencing this time of year. So -1 is our normal for this time of year. We reached a 1 degree high today, so above normal. That's when we start to see that ice melting, the snow melting rather. And as we get into cooler temperatures overnight, that's when it freezes over a bit. Looking at our overnight conditions, -9 and 30% chance of flurries expected. That's going to be throughout the region. So not everyone will receive that full 4 centimeters, but certainly most parts are looking at some snow activity. Flurries for tomorrow and a high of -4. Finishing off with our 5-day forecast. Friday, that flurry condition will continue, -4 degrees. Saturday and Sunday, flurries, -6. And for your Sunday, -7.
Time to take a look at what's trending. The United Nations Cultural Agency is honoring Italian food, designating the cuisine as an intangible cultural heritage. It's not the first time a country's cuisine has been recognized as a cultural expression. In 2010, UNESCO listed French food as part of the world's intangible heritage. The committee met in New Delhi this year and considered 53 nominations for the list. Other nominees this year included Swiss yodeling and Chile's family circuses. An original Picasso painting worth $1.6 million Canadian is being raffled off for charity.
It reminds me of my grandfather's generosity for his family, for his friends, but also for big causes, and especially during the Civil War in Spain or the Second World War.
Pablo Picasso's grandson is helping with the raffle. The portrait of a woman was painted in 1941. Up to 120,000 tickets will be sold online at €100 each. The winner will be announced in April. The proceeds from the ticket sales are being donated to Alzheimer's research. British author Sophie Kinsella, known for popular chick lit novel Shopaholic, has died at 55 after being diagnosed with brain cancer. Kinsella's family said on social media that despite her illness, Sophie counted herself truly blessed. Her books sold around 50 million copies and have been translated into more than 40 languages. The first 2 books from her Shopaholic series were adapted for the 2009 romantic comedy film Confessions of a Shopaholic, starring Isla Fisher. Here's what you need to know. Get into the spirit of the holiday season with the Christmas Cheerlight Charter. It leaves the station in St. Jacobs tomorrow at 5:30 and 7 p.m. Tickets start at $40.99 and can be purchased online.
Virgin Radio is KW's #1 hit music station. Home of Jeff, KP, and Backstage Ben in the morning. Listen to 105.3 Virgin Radio everywhere with the iHeartRadio app.
It's time to build a toy mountain.
Make this holiday season merry for so many kids.
Bring new unwrapped toys to your local Canadian Tire.
All in support of the Salvation Army.
We'll be collecting donations from November 19th to December 24th.
With all donations helping families right here in our community.
Toy Mountain, supported by the Core Group, Goman's Appliances, and the Crack Specialists.
Let's make this the best toy mountain ever.
Visit ctvkitchener.ca for more ways to donate.
In tonight's Digital Dive, Brantford police arrested a 30-year-old man after he was caught cutting copper lines on the roof of a church. Police say the man used bolt cutters to cut the lines which were connected to the church's air conditioning system. He was arrested and charged with mischief over $5,000 and possession of break-in instruments. For more on this story, our online team has you covered. Just scan the QR code in the corner of your screen or go to ctvnewskitchener.ca. Time now to take a look at our final 5 stories we're following today. In Guelph, a thief went to great lengths to get inside a discount store. The owner of a Buck or Two Plus on Grange Road says on Monday morning, someone cut the back door of the store in half. Security video shows someone crawling through the opening made by the cut, but they fled after the alarm was triggered. Guelph police say they are looking for a suspect described as wearing a black or dark colored hoodie, gray sweatpants, black running shoes, and a dark colored face mask.
So officers cleared the business. There was nobody still on scene. They did review security video, which showed a male entering the business carrying a reciprocating saw. Immediately once inside, set off a motion alarm, an audible alarm, and he fled on foot without stealing anything.
At 6, Colton Weens hears from the store owner, who says it's not the first time they've been broken into. A 66-year-old man is in hospital after crashing into the Google building in downtown Kitchener Tuesday night. Police say the man was driving southbound in a Ford Explorer along Bright Up Street just after 6 p.m. when he experienced a medical emergency, causing his vehicle to leave the roadway, hit several signs and a sidewalk, and collide with the building. Emergency crews resuscitated the driver before taking him to hospital in serious condition. The intersection at Bright Up and Moore was closed for several hours. Police say the building sustained significant damage and no charges are expected. Well, travelers are breathing a sigh of relief today after Air Transat reached a tentative deal with its pilots union late yesterday. It comes after a year of talks with the union pushing for similar gains made by Air Canada and WestJet pilots in recent years. The terms of the deal have not yet been released, and it still needs to be ratified. Air Transat says it is working to fully restore operations. A new Nanos poll finds Canadians are most worried about grocery prices this holiday season. 42% of respondents say they are very concerned about the price of food. Meanwhile, 17% of respondents indicated they are worried about personal debt, with housing costs also coming in at 17%. 8% of respondents indicated they were worried about job security. And finally for us, from southern Ontario to northern Quebec, St. Daniel Catholic Elementary School recently opened its doors to a group of students visiting from Kangersuk, a remote Inuit village in northern Quebec. It was a learning experience for both groups. The Kitchener students learned about Indigenous culture, while the Kangersuk students had the opportunity to practice their English, a second language, while experiencing the culture here, too.
One of the fanciest things that we had, actually, we got to try beluga whale, just watching them come with their clothing that's made from animals up there.
In April, the roles will be reversed when the Kitchener students head to northern Quebec. Talk about an adventure of a lifetime. Well, that's our time. Thanks for watching. We'll have more local news coverage at 6 o'clock with Tony Grace, and then later again at 11:30 with Krista Simpson. So make sure to stick around until then. But first, here's CTV National News with Sandy Ronaldo.